Number 18. Check engine. It's the most infamous light on your dashboard, and the one drivers fear the most. The check engine light might look harmless, just a little glowing engine icon or sometimes plain text. But here's the problem. When it comes on, it doesn't tell you what is wrong, only that something is. Back in the day, these were nicknamed idiot lights. Simple warnings with zero context. By the time they lit up, the damage was usually already done. Today's systems are smarter, but still vague. That light could mean something as harmless as a loose gas cap, or it could be alerting you to a failing catalytic converter that could cost thousands to fix. Here's the key. If it's steady and your car drives fine, it's not an emergency, but don't ignore it. If it's flashing or the engine feels rough, pull over immediately. That's a sign of active engine damage happening in real time. In short, this one tiny light could mean anything from tighten your gas cap to your engine is self-destructing, and that's what makes it so dangerous. Number 17, transmission warning light. This light is a shapeshifter. Depending on your car, the transmission warning might look like a gear with an exclamation mark, a flashing OD, or even a gear with a tiny thermometer. Some vehicles don't show a symbol at all, just plain text buried in your dashboard display. But whatever form it takes, it always means one thing: your transmission is not okay. The most common reason? Overheating or low transmission fluid. Transmission fluid isn't just for smooth shifting, it's the lifeblood that keeps your gearbox cool and lubricated. At 175 degrees Fahrenheit, everything's fine. At 200 degrees Fahrenheit and up, things start breaking down fast. You might not notice it right away, but signs like rough gear shifts, delayed response, or grinding noises often follow, and those could point to serious internal damage like burnt clutch packs or failing sensors. And here's the scary part. Transmission repairs are among the most expensive fixes on any vehicle. So if this light comes on, don't wait. Number 16, low pressure tire. This symbol looks like a horseshoe with an exclamation point in the middle, but it's actually a flat tire. And those little lines at the bottom is the tread, just in case you were wondering. The low tire pressure warning light shows up when one or more tires drop below the recommended air pressure. That may not sound serious, but underinflated tires can affect fuel economy, reduce grip, and in worst case scenarios, lead to a blowout. Many modern cars display the exact pressure for each tire on the dashboard or infotainment screen. If one of them is much lower than the rest, stop and inflate it to the correct level. It's usually listed on a sticker inside the driver's door. If the light stays on even after that, it could mean there's a slow leak or damage to the tire. Number 15, engine oil warning light. The oil pressure warning light is among the earliest and most crucial warning systems in vehicles. The Hudson Automobile Company was the first to use lights instead of gauges for oil pressure and the voltmeter, starting in the mid-1930s. This warning light means your engine isn't getting the oil pressure it needs. Sometimes that's just because you're low on oil. Other times it's pointing to something more serious, like a worn-out oil pump, a leak, or internal engine damage. Start by checking the dipstick. If oil is low, top it off and see if the light goes away. If it stays on or comes back shortly after, you'll want a mechanic to take a closer look. Driving with low or no oil pressure is one of the fastest ways to destroy an engine. Number 14, coolant level warning light. If a little red thermometer appears on your dashboard floating above wavy lines, your car is officially overheating. And that's not something that should be taken lightly, as it's the kind of problem that can cook your engine from the inside out. It's because when a car overheats, time is not on your side. Keep driving and you're not just risking your radiator, you're putting the whole engine in danger. There could be different reasons behind this light, such as low coolant, a broken pump, a clogged radiator, or a hose that sprung a leak. So when this warning shows up, pull over safely and turn off the engine. Let everything cool down before even thinking about opening the hood. Once it's safe, check the coolant reservoir. Just make sure to use a rag and not your bare hand. If coolant is low, a top-up might help, but if you see steam, hear bubbling, or smell something burnt, it's better to call for a tow. Number 13, brake system warning light. Brakes are the most critical safety feature in any car. This light typically appears as a circle with an exclamation mark inside, or simply the word brake glowing on your dashboard. The most common reason this light comes on is simple. You might have started driving with the parking brake still engaged, but if you've released the parking brake and the light remains on, it likely signals something more serious. Low brake fluid, worn brake pads, or a malfunction in the braking system could all be potential causes. In many modern vehicles, this warning may also be tied to the ABS or anti-lock braking system. While the ABS has its own dedicated light, both systems share certain components, like sensors and wiring, so an issue in one can trigger alerts in the other. A failed ABS sensor or broken wire won't stop the car from braking completely, but it can compromise emergency braking or traction on slippery roads. Number 12, Airbag warning. This light usually looks like a person seated with a big circle in front of them, representing an airbag. When you first start your car, it's normal for the airbag warning light to briefly illuminate, just part of the system's self-check. But if it stays on while you're driving, that means the car's airbag system has detected a fault. That could be a wiring issue, a faulty sensor, or a problem with one of the airbags themselves. The car will still run, and you won't be stranded. But in the event of an accident, one or more airbags might not deploy correctly, or at all. Number 11. Battery charge warning light. The battery warning light is one of the more straightforward symbols on your dashboard. It usually shows a red battery icon. While it's normal to see it briefly when you first start the car, it should disappear within a few seconds. If it stays on while you're driving, that's a sign something isn't right with the charging system. This doesn't necessarily mean the battery itself is faulty. More often, the issue points to the alternator, which is responsible for keeping the battery charged while the engine is running. It could also indicate a problem with the drive belt, wiring, or another part of the system that helps deliver power. In some cases, the car may still seem to run normally even with the warning light on. However, that's only temporary. Without a working charging system, the battery will continue to drain until the vehicle eventually loses power, sometimes without much warning. Number 10. Reduced power warning light. The reduced power warning light, sometimes shown as a lightning bolt or accompanied by the words reduced engine power, signals a serious issue with your vehicle's performance system. When this light appears, it typically means the car's computer has detected a fault and has placed the vehicle into what's commonly known as limp mode. In this mode, the engine power is intentionally limited to prevent further damage. You might notice sluggish acceleration, unresponsive throttle, or an inability to drive faster than a certain speed. While the car may still be drivable, it's doing so under strict limits for your own protection, and to prevent a small issue from turning into a much bigger and more expensive repair. The cause can vary. It might be a faulty sensor, a failing throttle body, problems within the transmission system, or even issues with the electronic control module, ECM. Number 9. Traction or stability control light. This light may look like a car drifting down a slippery road, and in a way, that's exactly the point. It's there to let you know that your car's traction control or electronic stability system is either working or possibly malfunctioning. Under normal conditions, this light will briefly turn on when the system activates. Usually when your tires start to slip on a wet or icy surface, it's a sign the system is doing exactly what it's supposed to, applying the brakes or reducing engine power to help maintain grip. So if you see it flash for a moment and disappear, there's no reason to worry. However, if the light stays on while driving, especially on dry, stable roads, that could mean the system isn't functioning properly. In many cases, it comes down to a faulty wheel speed sensor, which feeds critical data to the computer controlling traction and stability. Number 8. Unlock gear selector light. This light usually shows up as a green symbol inside a circle with small lines on either side, meant to resemble an old-school brake drum. It's most commonly seen on vehicles with automatic transmissions, and it's there to serve a very specific reminder. When this light is on, it's simply telling you to press the brake pedal before shifting out of park. It's part of a safety feature known as the brake shift interlock, designed to prevent accidental gear changes when your foot isn't on the brake. In normal situations, the light appears when you first start the car. As soon as you press the brake pedal, the light goes off and the gear selector unlocks. However, if you press the brake and the light stays on, or if the shifter doesn't move, there might be a problem with the sensor or brake switch. Number 7. Lamp out light. This is one of the more minor warnings your dashboard can display, but that doesn't mean it should be ignored. The lamp out light typically looks like a glowing sunburst. This means one of your exterior bulbs, like a headlight, tail light, or turn signal, has burned out or stopped functioning properly. While it won't affect how the car drives, it does impact visibility and safety, especially at night or in bad weather. Moreover, if it's a brake light or headlamp, you're risking a traffic stop and a ticket. Number 6. Washer fluid light. This warning light, usually shown as a windshield with water spray lines, indicates that your windshield washer fluid level is low. It may not seem urgent at first, especially since the vehicle will continue operating normally. However, it's more important than it might appear. In situations where your windshield becomes dirty, such as during rain, snow, or when driving behind larger vehicles, having washer fluid is essential for maintaining visibility. Without it, your wipers can only smear the dirt, reducing your ability to see the road clearly. Number 5. Steering wheel lock. This warning light typically appears when the steering wheel is locked and can't be turned. It's a common security feature in many vehicles, designed to prevent unauthorized use. You'll usually encounter it when trying to start the car or just after switching off the engine. To disengage the lock, insert the key into the ignition and turn it to at least the first position. At the same time, gently turn the steering wheel left or right. Once both motions align, the lock should release and the light will turn off. If the steering remains locked or the indicator stays on, there could be an issue with the ignition switch or steering column mechanism. In that case, it's worth having it checked by a professional to avoid getting stuck unexpectedly. Similarly, a separate power steering warning light may appear if there's a fault in the power steering system. It's usually depicted as a steering wheel icon with an exclamation mark beside it. This warning should not be ignored, as a failure in power steering can make the vehicle much harder to control, especially at low speeds. Number 4, automatic stop-start active light. If your engine suddenly shuts off when you're stopped at a red light or in traffic, don't be alarmed. This light indicates that your car's automatic stop-start system is actively working to save fuel. As soon as you press the brake and come to a full stop, the engine may shut down temporarily, intentionally. Then, once you release the brake pedal or begin to engage the clutch in a manual, the engine should restart almost instantly. This system is designed to reduce fuel consumption and emissions, especially in city driving where frequent stops are common. However, if you notice that the light doesn't come on at all, or the engine fails to restart smoothly, it could point to a fault within the stop-start system. Additionally, many vehicles allow drivers to disable this feature manually, so it's worth checking your settings first before assuming something's wrong. Before we reveal the final 3, make sure to leave a like and share your thoughts on the most overlooked dashboard warning we've mentioned so far. Number 3, low fuel warning light. This one's pretty straightforward. A small icon shaped like a gas pump shows up, usually in amber, and that means you're running low on fuel. Most cars trigger this warning when there's about 1 to 2 gallons left in the tank, though the exact number can vary by model. In some cases, this light can also come on if the gas cap wasn't closed properly after refueling, something worth checking before you assume you're running on fumes. Number 2, glow plug light. If you drive a diesel, this one's for you. Instead of spark plugs, diesel engines use glow plugs. They're essentially little heaters that warm up the combustion chamber, so your engine can start properly, especially on cold mornings. When you turn the key, you might see a light on the dash that looks like a pair of glowing coils or loops. That's the glow plug indicator, and it means the system is heating things up. During this short warm-up period, it's best to wait before starting the engine. Once the light switches off, you're good to go. But if the glow plug light starts blinking or stays on, that's a different story. It usually points to an issue in the system, possibly a faulty glow plug or a sensor problem. And while the engine might still start, it could take longer, run rough, or struggle in cold weather. Number 1, Gearbox warning light. The Gearbox warning light signals that something may be wrong with the transmission system. In some vehicles, it may share a dashboard icon with the transmission fluid temperature warning. When this light comes on, it could be triggered by something relatively minor, like low transmission fluid levels, or by something more serious, such as a mechanical fault in the gearbox. While the vehicle may still be drivable for a short time, continuing to operate it without addressing the issue can lead to costly repairs or even complete transmission failure, especially if it happens in traffic. We hope you enjoyed this video. Here's another one you'll love. As always, thanks for watching.